What's up guys, it's Bastian here coming at you with another Power Rangers action card game deck profile, and today we are looking at a Megaforce build. So let's start with the zero cost as we do normally, and let's also discover what this deck does. Starting with the zero costs, then we got two red Megaforce Rangers, two yellow Megaforce Rangers, two blue, and two black. As usual, the zero costs are the very basic bread and butter of the deck. These particular ones are, of course, rather interesting because they actually do something, and that is, well, that's always good for zero costs. They all have the same effect. If you win, you move this to the bottom of your deck. That means less of a chance of decking out, which of course is very important in this game. Of course, that's how you lose the game. You deck out before your opponent does. So these guys will certainly prolong that. And again, they're zero costs, so even if you lose and they go to your training area, then you can use them to up your judgment. You can use them to pay for other card costs. So they are fundamental for the deck. Let's move on to one cost though. We got two copies of the blue Megaforce Ranger, two copies of the yellow Megaforce Ranger. We have one copy of Robo Knight. We have three black Megaforce Rangers, and we have not one, but two red Megaforce Ranger. Let me just push these up a little bit. There you go. There you go. Okay. So there's quite a lot to unpack here. Let's start with, let's start with these guys here up on top because they all have the same thing, they all have the same concept. When you play any one of these, the blue, the yellow, and the black up top, you may move the top card of your discard area to the bottom of your deck. We are continuing on with the theme that we set with the zero costs. So again, now rather than moving the particular card back at the bottom of the deck, we can actually move a card as soon as we play any one of these from the discard area to the bottom of the deck. And that's chance of decking out. Not only that, but they are 2 damage Rangers for the cost of 1. And okay stats as well. Level 5, 6, they are certainly okay for level 1s. We also have the red Megaforce Ranger here from set 4. When you play it, you may move a Megaforce card from your discard area to the top or bottom of your deck. That is particularly good because you can set your draw if you are absolutely guaranteed that you're going to win, i.e. you're probably going to be going to a Zord or a Megazord and try to win through that, then you can pretty much stack what you're going to draw. To be safe, it is always worth to, if nothing else, tuck it to the bottom of your deck, at least know it's back in there. We also have promo 31 here, red Megaforce Ranger. If you win, move the top 2 cards from your discard area to the bottom of your deck in any order. I would certainly love to see more than one copy of this card in the deck because, well, there's now 2 cards that we can bring back from the discard area to the bottom of the deck in any order. So again, less chance of decking out. And then finally we got Robo Knight here. If you win, you may move this card to your hand. That is particularly good because it gives you that replayability, or you can just use it to pay a cost next turn. You go, and again, the card is not lost, it doesn't go to the discard. But you can build a deck differently. You might say, well, actually I can bring my cards back from the discard. I might not want to have Robo Knight. It's up to you. It's up to you how you go about this deck. It's up to you how you customize it. But with this in mind, let's move on and let's start to look at the 2 costs. We have more red Rangers in the 2 cost roster. So we have one copy of this beautiful foil red Ultra Megaforce Ranger. We also have a red Ultra Megaforce Ranger that is not foil. We also have a yellow Ultra Megaforce Ranger. And we have a blue Ultra Megaforce Ranger, we have a Robo Knight, and we got 2 Black Ultra Megaforce Rangers. These guys can go to the top. We'll just bring them down a little bit so you can see them all. Right, there you go. So let's start right in the middle because we have another promo here. This guy in the middle. First of all, it's a 2 cost 2 damage, 2 max, so you get max on level 4 and 6. And in your hand, when this is used to pay the cost of a Megaforce card, you may move it to the bottom of your deck. And it also has the shield keyword, and so does Robo Knight, which of course allows us to not take extra damage. But this is really cool. You pay with this card, go straight back to the bottom of your deck. Again, less chance of decking out. The other Red Ultra Megaforce Ranger basically does a very similar effect, not quite the same, but again it has 2 maxes, level 4, level 6 max, 2 cost 2 damage. Again, an effect from your hand. You may move any Megaforce cards used to pay this card's cost to the bottom of your deck in any order. Again, very similar effect, but this one allows you to recirculate the cards you pay with to get this card into play. The yellow Ultra Megaforce Ranger says when you play it, you may have a player move a card from their hand to the bottom of their deck. That could be you, that could be your opponent. I would normally target myself because again, less chance of decking out. Not only that, but this dude also has, or dudette, also has 2 maxes, 1 on level 1 and level 6. And it's a 2 cost 2 damage card. The Black Ultra Megaforce Ranger at the top does exactly the same as the yellow one out here. Exactly the same as the red one out here. You may move any Megaforce cards used to pay this card's cost to the bottom of your deck in any order. So there you go. We can put this one up here. And we can also put the blue one up here because they all do have the same effect. Not only that, but they all have 2 max levels as well on level 4. And then basically with looking at these 2 costs, we now have the Zords and the Megazords to finish the deck profile up with. And we do have a nice little roster here. We have 2 copies of the Gosei Jet. It's a 3 cost 3 damage Zord. This is a regular Zord. And in the summon step, if this card would be moved to the bottom of your deck, you may play it onto a Megaforce card in your battle area for 1 cost. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be doing this a hell of a lot because the Megazord cards that we have, I'm not gonna say you're gonna be doing this a hell of a lot because the Megaforce cards we have are fairly solid on the 2 cost levels, but it's still a Zord you can get out for free. So you know, if you got a 0 cost there and this will be moved to the bottom of your deck, why not play it? So there you go. It's got fairly okay stats and it's certainly a cheap enough Zord to get out to do some trickery with, but certainly not the biggest damage dealer in the deck. However, we do have 1 copy of the Gosei Great Megazord, which has a cost of 5/4 damage, fairly okay stats, and an infinity battling effect. You may discard 1 Megaforce card from your hand to give +1 to your judgment. And because it's an infinity effect, you can do this as many times as you can pay the cost. So you roll a 1, okay, well if you got a bunch of cards in your hand, you can pump yourself up to max if that's what you desire to do. Moving on, we have Gosei Grand Megazord. 6 cost 4 damage. We have shield on this one again, so if you lose you don't take extra damage. Certainly level 5 is a nice little number. Max is good, but where it really shines is the effect. Whether you win or lose, you may move a card below this to your training area to change this card's rock symbol to paper. So again, if you would lose, you can change, if your opponent has paper, you can change yours to paper. You don't take extra damage. You do still have the shield at the end of the day, so it's more prevalent if you win. It gives you a better chance of hitting whatever your opponent's rock, paper, scissors sign is. And then the last and the most beautiful card in this particular deck is the Ultra Gusei Great Megazord, 7 cost, 5 damage. Again, comes with the shield keyword. When you play it, you may move the bottom 2 cards of your deck to your training area. That is really fantastic. Just allows you to set up your next play by giving you extra resources in the training area, or it can also be used to manipulate your judgment roll. So you can get up to um, a max from L4, L5, of course, without much of a sweat, really. This particular deck doesn't have the Megaforce team card, and that is to ensure that we have ample space for all the different Zord cards in this deck. Again, as with all the other Power Rangers decks, this was also built by Derek over at CCG Replay, so please make sure you go over to his channel as well, have a look at his videos, and thank you for all the decks, D. And up until next time, guys, Busty and signing out. It's morphin' time. Peace.